And we welcome you back to another episode of Everyman Driver, where we post new videos to YouTube every day, Monday through Friday.
Make sure to hit the subscribe button right above my finger to receive all of our new video uploads.
This week, Alex and I are here in the freezing inland northwest of Spokane, Washington, inside Riverside State Park to review the 2013 Mazda 3, and this one has the tech package.
Yeah, it also comes in a glittery red color here, as you can see. I'll take you under the hood to let you know about the car's engine and performance. Dave will let you know what he thinks of its ride and handling. And finally, we'll let you know whether we would actually buy the car on the Everyman Driver ownership scale.
Plus, who we think makes for an ideal candidate for the Mazda 3. All that more coming up on this episode of Everyman Driver.
Under the hood, the new Mazda 3 sports a very blue 2-liter Sky-Activ 4-cylinder that produces 155 horsepower with 148 foot-pounds of torque when paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission.
And those horses are quick. I've been getting about low 30s for gas mileage lately. It's rated at 28 in the city and 40 on the highway. We recently reviewed the 2013 Mazda CX-5 with the all-wheel drive. It too has the Sky-Activ technology under the hood. So Alex, more on that because you're an expert when it comes to this Sky-Activ technology.
Well, nobody seems to know exactly what it is. It's sort of Mazda's catchphrase, but essentially what Mazda said is that any time in the near future, the internal combustion engine is still going to be the way to go over electric or even hybrid cars. So they've done a ton of things to the engine, transmission, even the body structure and panels to maximize fuel efficiency while still giving good power and a fun driving experience.
And it seems to be working, so let's take it for a ride.
Let's do it.
So in terms of ride and handling, a very pleasant experience when it comes to steering the Mazda 3. The ride is very smooth too. I feel pretty confident behind the wheel, and you can certainly feel the front wheel drive as the car propels you, zoom, zoom into the future.
That's right. Way to throw the advertising tagline in there. I will say, we've been filming and it's about 15 degrees out. So right now the front wheel drive doesn't instill a ton of confidence, but most of the time and in most places, that's not really going to be a problem. I have really been impressed with this Sky-Activ 2-liter engine. It's smooth and it's just got enough power. Like we've said, people that are buying this car aren't looking for something that's, you know, ultra fast. They're just looking to get from point A to point B reliably. So I think for the money, this car drives pretty darn good.
So Alex, let's talk about the interior, because I think that we both agree to disagree on how this is laid out. Does that make sense, right? There's too much going on. Things are not in the right spots. You and I don't like how this display is here for the RPMs and the MPGs.
No, this car has 4 screens. This isn't like a Rolls-Royce or a Lexus. This is a Mazda for 24 grand or whatever with 4 screens. You don't need it. And the screens are not laid out well. This screen here in front of us, well, it provides a great perch for our camera. It's completely useless, and it looks like they just randomly mashed a couple of screens in there. They aren't even the same size screens or the same shape, you know, and on the dash, I feel like it's 2 big eyes that are just staring at you. And I like big, simple instrument panels, but the Mazda, those things are just too big, too deep, and then it's just got some random lettering down the middle. The interior is really the only big spot where this car falls short. You know, the other thing is here down on next to the gear lever, it just, you and I both commented independent of one another that it feels like something else should be here. There's just this big chunk of plastic that doesn't serve a purpose and just doesn't look like it really fits. One thing I will say that is really cool on this car though is this ambient lighting that we get below our feet. Essentially, it's got this soothing blue light that shines down on my old Adidas white sneakers, but it does look pretty darn good. It's a nice little touch. Now, Dave, is this a standard feature?
Well, for an extra $250, you can get this interior lighting kit, which I think it's nice. I mean, it really helps out at night. I mean, if you're, want to open the door, put your feet in.
Yeah.
Another cool feature that you can't see right now because it's not at night is the headlights. They will turn in the direction that you are turning the wheel to give you a little preview of what direction you're going. I like that because there's a lot of twisty, turny roads where I live. So I like that feature.
That's true. Actually, the first time I tried those, they're a bit trippy because you're not really used to them, but very nice safety feature.
So Alex and I have been discussing who makes for the ideal candidate for a Mazda 3, and I think we both agree it's probably that person right out of college because this car economically would make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you buy your first car like this, you're going to plan on having it for a while. So you really want a car that's going to grow with you. I'm sure this car will survive the test of time, but let's see with your growing family that hopefully one day you'll have, if anybody likes you, if they'll actually be able to fit in the back of this thing.
I know that Alex is not your average size adult because he's 6'2", but let's find out what the legroom and headroom looks like on the inside as I make my way around the back to the trunk. Alex?
Yeah, getting inside the Mazda 3 it's not the worst thing in the world, and if you've got little kids or a car seat, it's going to be fine, but if you're anywhere near my height or starting to get into junior high, high school age kids, they're going to be kneeing you in the back seat all trip long. Dave?
And here's something both Alex and I have noticed in some of the newer cars we're reviewing is how you open the trunk of some of these cars, and they're very stylish now because they're integrating the button into the back here. In fact, here's the button to open this trunk. It's just right there on the light. Hit that, and then you can pop it open. Otherwise, there's no handle there. And this is a pretty decent amount of space back here, and the seats do fold forward a little bit so you can increase the amount of luggage or groceries or duffel bags that you want to put back here. So I think this is more than adequate for the class. The MSRP on the 2013 Mazda 3 is about $23,600. This one also includes a tech package, so now you're a little bit over $26,000. The question to Alex and myself is, what do you give it on the Everyman driver ownership scale of 0 to 72 months based on the ownership length of new cars these days?
Well, there's a lot of things I like about the Mazda 3. Overall, I like the styling. I think it's a pretty good engine. You've got enough power. The thing that this car's really lacking is the interior. All of those screens, and it's just poorly designed, poorly laid out. And even though this is a, sort of a compact sedan, rear leg room is really suffering. So, overall, I'm going to give this car 36 out of 72 months, basically right down the middle. For that kind of money, I would look at spending a little less, getting a little better gas mileage with something like the Ford Fiesta.
Now, I'm going to look at this from the potential owner's point of view because I'm not really interested in this car. I'm more of the SUV guy. I want a little bit more car for myself. This, I think, is a 60-month car for somebody because we're talking about the college student or the recently graduated college student, the person maybe looking to start a family. Economically, this is a great car for them. Front-wheel drive. Decent interior. I too am not impressed with how things are laid out, a little too confusing with the instrument panel, but for the money and the economy, I think it's a decent car for somebody else, but just not for me.
You know what, Dave? You've made a believer out of me. I totally am changing my view.
Well, that'll wrap it up for this episode of Everyman Driver alongside Alex DeFries. I'm Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.